we have one of those two MLAs, Hekani Jakhalu, now joins us. Thank you very much, Hekani, for joining us. And my first question to you is, how does it feel to be one of the two to go and occupy a position in the Nagaland Assembly?
I'm feeling really blessed, and I'm very overwhelmed by the support of the people and for breaking the jinx, I should say. You know, now the doors and windows for women is opened, so I'm really happy. It's going to inspire many young girls in the future, and I'm so happy that I could do this for my women in my state.
Hekani, do you think that this should have happened yesterday? I mean, this was it took its time coming, and this was perhaps a bit too late.
See, for me, probably this is God's perfect timing for our people. So I will not say yes, considering this, Nagaland is the only state that has not had women legislators, you know, in its history. So from that perspective, yes, it is late. But for me, I feel that this is God's perfect timing, and I should say the time is now.
Of course, the time is now. But Hekani, what are your priorities going to be?
I've been working for young people for the past 17 years. I was a lawyer in the past. I studied in Delhi. I studied in the US. I worked there for some time. And I quit everything in 2005 to work for our people. I started a nonprofit organization called YouthNet. And for 17 years, I've been working for young people. So I want to continue. Focusing on young people. I believe, and we all know that young people are our future. We need to build them. It's not just about making a statement by saying young people are our future. It is important that we make an effort to build them, to nurture them, to mentor them, so that in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, Nagaland will be in safe hands. So that is one. Secondly, I'm fighting for women. It's important. That's why in the first place, I decided to contest. It is important, and it is urgent that our women's voice are heard at the highest decision-making body. So I'm going to be fighting for women, stand up for women. Thirdly, my constituency is a very neglected constituency. I want to make sure that it's one of the best in our state. I want to make my constituency a model constituency. And fourthly, I'm also fighting for minority communities, the minority communities. Being from the Northeast and from Nagaland, I've always considered myself a minority. Throughout my life as a young student, and even in my profession through different organizations, I've been fighting for the Northeast. I've been going to Delhi, making sure that our voices are heard in the corridors of power. I've been doing that. So here in Nagaland, and especially in my constituency, the minority community, I believe that I am fighting this to go ahead, and it's important that I hold their hands and make them go along with me. So these are the 4 points I'm fighting for at the moment.
You do mention the fact, but as you know, the fact that this has happened, and one still cannot imagine how this is happening, that it took more than 6 decades for, two women to set foot in the Nagaland Assembly. What is going to be your topmost priority? You've listed 4, but what is that one thing of pressing urgency?
The topmost priority is the political solution of the Naga people. For me, I have not been actively involved in the political issue, but as someone who's been working for young people for 17 years, I've realized it's not just about skilling, it's not just about funding, it's not just about making sure that they're employed. You know, all this unemployment and so many problems that our state is facing is because of the Naga political issue, which needs to be. It's very complex. I mean, it's not so easy to be describing this in one sentence, but it's very complex. Our state, we need private, when we're talking of unemployment, we're talking about making sure that we have private investment, and these things will not happen until and unless the Naga political issue has been solved. So at this point of time, that is also one of the priority that the government needs to, the government at the state and also the center needs to seriously look into. Secondly, unemployment is also a huge problem, which has stemmed out of so many other issues, but I've been focusing on unemployment, and I want to make sure that the ecosystem in Nagaland is in place so that our youth enjoy having a decent job.
Hekani, given the fact that there is obviously Nagaland, far northeast of the country, it's a peculiar situation, and I still can't get over the fact that it took so long for women to set foot. Do you think that there should be, Nagaland wants some special attention from the center, and that should be a priority?
Yes, in terms of yes, that like I mentioned earlier, and like you've mentioned also, the time has come. The time is now. So I'm excited. It's time. We may be late in catching up, but I'm sure we will be able to catch up with the rest of the world. And yes, why not?
Do you think
one
there
day
should be a woman CM?
A women chief minister as well.
Yes, that's the question I wanted to ask you. So you think that the time has now come for a woman chief minister in Nagaland? Hopefully you, who knows? But again, let me repeat that question. Do you think that the center, there is a special need for assistance and hand-holding from the center? And what is that crucial issue?
I believe the Honorable Prime Minister understands this. And this I say, the last election, the last tenure, it was a BJP NDPP alliance, 40-20. And Nagaland being a politically sensitive place, the political talks are almost coming to a conclusion. And we believe that it should happen very, very soon. Considering Prime Minister Modi is at the center. I know BJP had the power to do whatever it wanted to do in a small state like Nagaland, but they continued with the pre-poll alliance, giving NDPP 40 and BJP taking 20. And there was a lot of hue and cry here in the BJP. The BJPs here in Nagaland, they've been saying that they have worked for a very long time, worked very hard, and they deserve at least 30-30. But Prime Minister Modi and the BJP leadership at the center, I believed in the sensitivity of the state. And also, I believe Nagaland also being a Christian state, I think they were sensitive to those issues also. And they decided to go 40-20. The Prime Minister was also here just on the last day of the election campaign, and he had campaigned in our constituency in Dimapur district, and we believe that he's serious about Nagaland and the Northeast.
Ms. Jakhalu, what's the reaction? What has been the reaction in your family? I mean, I'm sure they must be happy and thrilled, and this has been an incredible journey for you personally also. I mean, a lawyer, studied abroad, stayed in Delhi, and then left everything to go back and pursue this for a very long time. And now this achievement. Yes.
We are all very excited. For me, I believe that this was a family fight. I may have been the face, but my whole family, they worked more hard than me, I should say. So I really thank them for being my support and helping us women, get this very historic win.
I have to ask you, when was that moment when you decided that I have to leave everything behind, my career behind, and just focus on my state and my people? When was that moment of reckoning for you, and why?
The moment happened, actually, it was an incident. It was not even, it was an incident. In 2005, I was a young lawyer, and I had gone to meet my chief minister, who is Mr. Nifiurio. This is going to be his fifth term. He was the chief minister then as well. So when I had gone to him for my other work, some legal work, he started talking about his frustration about young people and how much he wants to do as a government to help young people, especially addressing unemployment. And as a young lawyer, he gave me almost 45 minutes to 1 hour. And, it's very rare for a chief minister to be really talking about these things to a young lawyer. And that moment, in some way, I believe it was God's work, I believe, and that it was God's work. And that moment made me change my mind. And I decided I'm going to quit everything and I'm going to go back home. and assist the government, the chief minister in whatever way I can.
That's true. Now, my final question to you, you think that you are a role model for the many young girls in Nagaland, and that in a way also becomes a sort of a burden of expectations.
No, yes, definitely I would like to believe today I'm going to be a role model for young girls, and I don't think it's a burden. It's a responsibility that I'm proud of. I will try my best to live up to that expectation and the responsibility that God has given me.
Hekani Jakhalu, all the best, and what an amazing story. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.